morning, everybody. I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic morning today. I was going to make this video out in the garden, but it's really bright over there. The sun is already out. Been still enjoying some unseasonably warm weather. Some days it still feels like December in Colorado, but it's 40 degrees right now, which is crazy. So I hope that you are enjoying your weather. Random side note, my husband just was telling me, he says, we keep hearing about the North Pole is melting, but nobody's talking about the South Pole is growing. Just a random thought to think about. Anyway, so we are out here today for our introspective journey, and this is a time of self-reflection and to just pause and look inward and grow and think about where you need growth and think about the lessons that you've learned and just all different aspects of yourself. So our question for today is, we are on day 36, and our question is, if you suddenly died, would you regret not having told somebody something, and why haven't you told them? We live in a society where it doesn't always feel like the right thing to do, to tell someone or to say your true feelings or to share yourself with the world. And we often find that there are things that we withhold and we keep in. And for some, these are just little things. For others, these are really big things. So as you begin to think about this question, and not everybody is going to say, I have this thing I'm not telling people. There are people out there who don't hold back things, and like myself personally, I just have a tendency to say too much before I say too little. So not everyone is going to answer this question with something like I am not telling somebody something. So don't feel like you have to seek that. If you automatically are like nothing, take some time to really think about, well, what are there things that I just keep internally? It might not be something specific. It might be something more general. It might be, I have this general feeling and I don't share it with people typically. So maybe it's not something so specific. For others, this is going to be really specific. Maybe you're in love with someone and you're not sharing that information, or maybe you have some secret and you're not telling people. So what is it that you're keeping in? And then think about why you're keeping that secret. Why are you keeping that information in? Are you keeping it in because you don't want to hurt other people? Are you keeping it in because you want to protect yourself? Are you scared about the responses that you're going to get from other people? And just kind of try to take it to that next level of how that's affecting you. So, for some things, like you're in love with a coworker and you can't say anything because you're coworkers and it's against the rules and all of these things. Well, if it's naturally meant to happen, let it happen progressively, and things like that will just kind of work themselves out. If it's really meant to be, it'll happen. If it's not, those feelings will dissipate and you'll move on to someone new. If it's like a secret, like you're holding on to some information, like something happened to you, or something that happened to somebody else, or maybe you have something trauma related, this is why are you keeping this information a secret? And is that secret helping you in order to heal, in order to be a better self, to have that more ideal self? And it's really unfortunate that victims are shamed so much in our society, that for many, when you have something happen to you, you just end up keeping it a secret, because it's easier to just get the secret and to not explain things to other people. Even I was talking to one of my sisters the other day, and we were talking about the Me Too movement and about the statistic of women who have actually been abused. And I said, well, there's me and I got 4 other sisters, plus I got 2 more god sisters. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, 6 of us. There's 6 of us, and at least 4, I can't say for one because I've never asked her. We're not as close to my god sisters. The other one I know has. So 4 out of 6 could use the hashtag Me Too. And that's a sad statistic. And she looked at me and she says, I didn't know. And so then we had to go into what happened and we had to talk about it and we had to, I felt it was important because she's young. She's my youngest sister. She's only 19. So I felt it was really important to like share this information with her because we live in this world where it's so often swept under the rug and nobody talks about it and you're meant to just look the other way and oh maybe but shh, like let's not make a big deal about it. Well, I'm sorry, that's the problem. It shouldn't be about anything except for telling the truth. And so unfortunately when we have trauma, there's a lot of people who just keep it a secret. And so when you think about what is something I'm not telling other people, if it's trauma related, sorry, excuse me, it's important for you to share this information. One, it's important for yourself, and two, it's important for the people around you, for so many reasons. And if we don't speak out and say the truth, one, the victimization continues to happen not only on yourself but on other people, and it is a repetitive cycle. Those who are victimized typically become victimizers in one way or the other, or become self-inflicting, and it's not productive or healthy. So if you don't feel confident talking to someone else about it, write it down in your journal and at least start there. There's a great activity of saying it out loud to yourself in a mirror, and this can be very, very powerful, especially if it's things that you're not comfortable telling other people. And even if that's as far as you put it, that can be really healing. Maybe you need to say something. Maybe you need to talk to your mom, or maybe you need to talk to a good friend. Just have one person that you can reach out to and talk to. For many people, just speaking the words out loud to another human being can have so much healing power. So, if you're keeping something a secret because it's trauma-based, reach out to someone. If you want to reach out to a stranger, because sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger, you can reach out to me and I'll listen to your story and I will be here to, to hear you. Because a lot of times that's all that it needs to be. And on the opposite side of that, just because I think it's important to say this, if someone comes to you with their trauma and shares that information with you, it's not your responsibility to, well, depending on the situation, but in most cases, as we're all adults remembering our past traumas, it's not your job to fix the situation. It's not your job to heal them. The most healing thing that you can do is say, I am so sorry that happened to you. I'm here for you. A hug, some compassion, just listening. And sometimes that can be really hard because you want to say, oh, let me help you, but just listen. And that's all you need to. I'm so sorry that happened to you. And create this supportive community so that we don't feel like we have to hold things in, keep things a secret, and feel this shame. So it's important to speak out and not keep those things a secret. Excuse me. There's like a frog in my throat. Oh, maybe the mother toad wants to say something. It's in there somewhere. It's because the full moon is tomorrow, and I have to make that video, and so I think the energy is like, okay, let's get on to that. But so, as you begin to think about those things that you don't tell other people, I guess this is one of those things that I would like put on a spectrum. There are things we don't say out loud because they're not nice. There's no reason to say things like, those little omissions. That's fine. We don't need to say those out loud. If you have a lot of those, maybe kind of reflect on why are you being, for lack of nicer words, so judgmental of those around you that you feel like in your brain you have so many things like they're negative, like I don't say all of these things out loud, I'm constantly holding them in. Maybe think about that and reflect on that and kind of process through why you're feeling that. And typically it's because you're reflecting on yourself and these other people. And so think about that reflection. And then we have I'm in love with someone, or I really hate this person and I wish I could just tell them to never talk to me again. Um, you know, both ends of that spectrum. But maybe there are those things like, you know, you have coworkers, you have family members, you have acquaintances. Like these are just kind of these relationships where maybe there's something you wish you were saying. And then think about why and what it is and why you're keeping it a secret. And like I said, if it's trauma based, or, you know, maybe you have some memory that you need clarity on, all of those kind of things, start by, you know, processing them through yourself, talking to your friend, your mom, your partner, your, you know, someone that you trust, and start by just saying those things aloud so that you can begin to heal. So again, the question for today is, if you were to die tomorrow, what is something that you're not telling someone, and why are you not telling them? And like I said, if you need to reach out to someone who's not in your circle or someone outside a source, you feel free to reach out. You can email me. You know, there's all those things in the below. So I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and don't forget the full moon is tomorrow, and that we'll have a full moon. I'll have a full moon video up later. I said we because I got a toad in my throat that just needs to say something. All right, I'll talk to you guys all soon. Have a good day.